So, first I just want to say that I'm very grateful to be with you this morning and honored to be able to introduce our guest speaker today. In the summer of 1976, as commander at Beta Psi and a rising senior at UC Berkeley, I was selected from a large group of applicants with about 20 other collegiate leaders of Sigma Nu's from around the country to participate in a unique leadership development program in Lexington, Virginia. It was called the Sigma Nu Leadership Institute. To this day, I'm grateful to Sigma Nu's past historian, Brother Bob McCulley, may he rest in peace, but is here with us today in spirit and smiling down on us, and past regent and past chairman of the Sigma Nu Educational Foundation, Brother Jim Cherry, who is with us today, who were my division commanders and advisors and urged me to apply to the Institute. I also want to mention our past regent and Brother Dave Ruig, who is Mr. Beta Psi and was a great mentor of mine, not only as a commander, but throughout my life as a real estate developer. Thank you, Dave. And I also want to recognize Mo Littlefield, who was just introduced, who was the director of the Sigma Nu fraternity back then, who was instrumental in putting this together, the Sigma Nu Leadership Institute. Thank you, Mo. So when you think about it, collegians, in my life, I had McCulley, Cherry, Ruig, and Littlefield that I was really fortunate, as you can imagine, who were my mentors and were all very successful in their own careers, were successful as Sigma Nu leaders, and have been mentors for me for my entire life. Sigma Nu has given me a lot. For about 2 weeks, we lived in the VMI barracks and participated in intensive leadership education. This experience was followed up by an opportunity to serve an internship with some of Sigma Nu's top leaders in government, academia, industry, and banking. I was fortunate to have my internship the remainder of that summer with one of Sigma Nu's great United States senators, Senator and Brother Lloyd Bentsen of the Upsilon chapter at the University of Texas. The photograph you are seeing here now is me with Senator Bentsen from the summer of '76. And there's a notation at the bottom that reads, "To Bob Lalanne, with warm regards and appreciation to a brother Sigma Nu. You are always welcome in Texas when people start leaving California in the 21st century." Lloyd Bentsen. He was a visionary. So, I lived in the dorms at Georgetown when I was in DC, and I made lifelong friends with not only my brothers who I met with here and trained in Lexington, other leaders of Sigma Nu chapters around the country, but with the many wonderful people I met in Washington, D.C. that summer. Senator Bentsen served as our country as a U.S. Senator for 22 years and as Treasury Secretary for President Bill Clinton. In 1988, he was the vice presidential nominee of the Democratic ticket, and Senator Bentsen passed away in 2006 and is a member of Sigma Nu's Hall of Fame. I learned so much from Senator Bentsen. This experience not only broadened my horizons, but allowed me to further develop my leadership skills, and it truly influenced me in the trajectory of my career and philanthropy. More importantly, it fired me up to be all I can be. And trust me, a highlight on my resume, and I'll never forget this, upon graduating from Cal and beginning to interview for jobs, I had highlighted on my resume the Sigma Nu Leadership Institute, Senator Lloyd Bentsen, Lexington, Virginia, in bold letters. And it was always a discussion topic for folks interviewing me, and they were always fascinated that such a fraternal educational opportunity, such as the Sigma Nu Leadership Institute, existed and wanted to hear all about it, and all because of Sigma Nu. A Jesuit priest from my high school days at St. Ignatius College Prep in San Francisco taught to give thanks means to give back. Past programs like the Sigma Nu Leadership Institute and today the College of Chapters are the reason that our Sigma Nu Educational Foundation exists, to support the honorable mission of Sigma Nu Fraternity that under the leadership of Brother Brad Beecham and his incredible staff provide you collegiates with best-in-class leadership training and education, all by leveraging the time, the talent, and the contributions of generous Sigma Nu brothers who give thanks to Sigma Nu to give back, such as Dr. Spears, Brother Jerry Fields, and Brother Frank Bracken. Our world needs the mission of Sigma Nu. Our world needs more ethical leaders inspired by the principles of love, honor, and truth, and what I call the 3 pillars of Sigma Nu. Today's speaker is an excellent example. Brother Bill Barr has dedicated practically his entire professional career to service and leadership of our country. To our knowledge, he's the highest ranking U.S. government official to wear the badge of the Legion of Honor. Twice, this brother was nominated by the President of the United States to serve as our nation's Attorney General, and twice he was confirmed by the U.S. Senate to do so. He is the only second person in the history of our country to serve 2 non-consecutive terms as our Chief Law Enforcement Officer. He received both his bachelor's and master's degrees at Columbia. In 1968, he became an initiate of our Delta Gamma chapter and served as a collegiate chapter officer. He then completed his law degree at George Washington University in 1977. Brother Barr embodies the pillar of love, or as our speaker, Brother Carl Thoma at this year's Grand Chapter put it, love as in passion. Brother Barr has a passion for learning, for expanding knowledge. For as President John F. Kennedy once described, knowledge is power. And to you collegians, suck in as much knowledge as you possibly can. The more you know, the more you learn, the better person you'll be. Take on new challenges, raise your hand, get involved, be a participant, including on campus. Take the lead. The passion in Brother Barr to do such and to be all he could be with his God-given talents is what has fueled his many accomplishments. Brother Barr embodies the principle of honor. He recognizes and honors that we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us. We recognize their contributions and accomplishments, but where there have been shortcomings, we don't eradicate the past, but work and lead to improve upon what came before us for the benefit of all in the commons. There is a note that Brother Barr wrote many decades after attending Corpus Christi Grammar School to Sister Lucinda, a Dominican sister from his 4th grade, whom he found out was still alive at the age of 93 and living in the mother house in Wisconsin. And I'd like to share just a couple lines from his note to Sister Lucinda. Quote, "Over the years, I have realized of all the teachers in my life, you had the greatest impact and I owe you the most. You always gave me kind and gentle encouragement. You instilled a love of learning and gave me confidence in my abilities. You taught me not to shrink from upholding what I thought to be right and not to hesitate to lead. Your example of faith and charity helped give me a strong religious foundation, which has been the greatest gift of all." I think that says so much about our guest speaker and what he's made of. And finally, truth, grounded and substantiated in facts, transparent, the metrics, the law, honesty, government, telling it like it is, even to a sitting president of the United States, the embodiment of truth in Brother Barr's accomplishments are evident. When it comes to passion to give back to society as a public servant, and in this case as the Attorney General of the United States, to do so with honor and respect, steeped in transparency, and I emphasize transparency, the truth, the facts, and the law, Attorney General Brother Bill Barr has raised the bar for those who follow him as our top law official in the land. His recently published memoir, a New York Times bestseller entitled One Damn Thing After Another, you will all receive a copy of this book at lunch. He is a sought-after speaker around the world, but he chose to be with us as Sigma Nu brothers today to share his thoughts on the importance of Sigma Nu's mission and to develop ethical leaders in today's world. Brothers, please help me give a warm welcome to our 77th and 85th Attorney General of the United States, Honorable Bill Barr.